Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today, continuing our season preview series. We're taking a look today at the Detroit Red Wings. The Detroit Red Wings were one of the more active teams this offseason, specifically in free agency. So we're going to go over year number, is it 3 now or 4, of the Yzer plan and what will happen for the Red Wings. Could they make the playoffs? We'll go over that today. So the Detroit Red Wings last season, obviously things did not go so well. Well, depends on how you look at it. If you're looking at just the first half of the season, it was great for the Red Wings. They were actually in a playoff spot in the beginning of the year, and they played really well. And then you look at the second half of the season, and kind of all that promise kind of evaporated. The team just stopped playing the way that they were. I think that's ultimately what led to Jeff Blashill getting fired. That second half of the season was brutal. And you know what? I think it was better off for the Red Wings to have that bad second half, because that allowed Steve Yzerman to say, listen, congrats, we had a great first half of the season. We were not competitive throughout a lot of that second half of the season. A couple of blowout games, specifically at home. And I don't think that sat well with Yzerman and the Red Wings staff. So despite some good seasons, a great rookie season for guys like Lucas Raymond and Mo Seider, the Red Wings decided to make some pretty drastic moves to their organization. So we're going to go over some of those moves today. So some of the key additions to the Red Wings, Andrew Copp, to start off the list. Andrew Copp is the guy that played at the University of Michigan. So again, you have Larkin and Michigan down the middle, two former Wolverines. I think that's pretty cool. So they bring in Andrew Copp, and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I think he's disappointed with how things ended in New York with the Rangers. Didn't even receive a contract offer. I don't think that sat well with him. So he goes back to his hometown, very close to his hometown in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And now you have Dylan Larkin and Andrew Copp as your top two centers. Much improved over the last couple of years, center core for the Wings. David Perron comes in as well. Really good addition to the Red Wings here. He comes in on a 1 or 2 year deal. Really good contract and a really good player. David Perron will probably jump into the top 6 next season, and it's going to make it difficult for some of the younger guys, which we're going to get to in a minute when we look at the lineup, to get into that top 6. They're really going to have to work for it, and that's kind of how Yzerman does this, right? He doesn't want to just give a spot to one of the young kids. No. You have to earn your spot, and I think that he will do that with this roster this year, and a guy like David Perron allows you to do that. Dominic Kubaleek, again, taking another former Chicago Blackhawk that probably should have been at least given an offer from the Blackhawks. And now he's going to play on a line of Dominic Kubaleek and last year's addition, Pia Suter. So I think those two will do really well together. We're going to see kind of the young guy prove-it line of Dominic Kubaleek, Pia Suter, and Filip Zadina. I think that would be a very interesting third line for the Red Wings, and a lot more scoring, secondary scoring with that kind of lineup. So I like that there. Another guy that's kind of a wild card to make the roster, again, especially with how good the center depth is here. What's the ceiling for Joe Valenum? He was a prized guy when he was drafted by the Red Wings, and he still hasn't really gotten over the edge. It's going to be difficult, though. Again, you look at that top, their 4 centers that they have are Larkin, Copp, Pia Suter, and Rasmussen. Is he better than any of those 4 guys? It kind of seems like no. So it's kind of interesting to see, will this finally be a season where, maybe barring an injury or he beats out one of those guys, either Rasmussen or Suter in the bottom 6, could he maybe be a center or at the very least a winger on the Red Wings next season? Let me know what you guys think of Joe Veleno. It's kind of getting on the verge of that nasty B word, and I'm not talking about the dog one. I'm talking about the bust. So let me know what you guys think of Veleno. Moving to the blue line, Ben Sharok comes in. That's really the big addition. A lot of people have criticized that contract, but he's never played a game yet for the Red Wings. So I think him and Mo Seider are a great complement to each other. Really good group there. I mean, I'm looking at, according to Daily Faceoff, the Red Wings are going to have 3 new left shot defensemen next season, which is just mind-blowing when you think about it, and we'll get into that. So Ben Sherratt, Oli Mata comes in as well. Again, another left shot defenseman. Probably going to play in the top 4, maybe at least to start this season. So kind of interesting to see that. Mark Pysyk comes in. He's more of a depth defenseman. Might even start the season in Grand Rapids. Depends on how things go in training camp. So Pysyk's there as well. You also have the young guys. You have Simon Edvinsson, who I do think starts the season with the Red Wings. You also have Albert Johansen. A lot of people were very excited with him last year. As well as Wyatt Newpower. All of those guys have an outside chance of making the Wings next season. And in that order, I think Newpower is the least likely. Albert Johansen's probably a guy that come injuries during the season. I think we'll see a guy like Johansen get some games in, maybe 10 to 12 games. And I do think Simon Edvinsson is at the top of that list and will probably get, at the very least, a shot on opening night to play with the Detroit Red Wings. Moving into in between the pipes, they did make some changes. Thomas Greiss leaves the team in free agency to head to St. Louis, so they bring in Ville Husso. So it's basically Husso for Greiss, because that is the former Blues goaltender. I would say that's a win in terms of a trade for the Wings. Ville Husso is a pretty good goalie. Again, you question the number and the length of the years and this and that, but that has been an issue for the Red Wings going into next season. And my thought was, how good is the goaltending? Ned had some good stretches, had some bad stretches last season. So now you bring in Husso, who I think is an upgraded backup, I guess you could say. I really think that'll be a good tandem next year. A good 1A, 1B. Depending on who goes first and second on that list will be determined. But I think that's a really good pickup there for the Wings. And you look at where they finished last season in terms of goals for and goals against. 25th in the National Hockey League for goals for. They did struggle to put the puck in the back of the net, but they struggled more so on the back end. Their goals against was 30th in the league, which is third worst in the entire National Hockey League. So that's something that definitely needs to be improved upon for the Wings. And I think they did that. Ville Husso comes in. Ben Sharok is a lockdown, shutdown defenseman. And of course, you have all the depth on the blue line now. That really was kind of not there last season. Edvinsson, Johansen, and Newpower, I think, could all get some opportunity in the lineup. When you look at the lineup, though, Ben Sharok with Mo Seider next year, I think that's a really good pairing. Oli Mata and Filip Hronek, I think that's TBD. I think that's to be determined. We could see a chance where Simon Edvinsson ends up jumping up to that top 4 spot, maybe taking Oli Mata, and then Simon Edvinsson and Gustav Lindstrom as your third pair at the moment. And again, I think that could change on the fly. Again, you've got some of the younger guys in the pipeline as well. The Red Wings have a good group here. Jake Wallman came in as well. He just re-signed. He re-upped with the Wings. I really think the Red Wings have done some really good things to this team this year. And I think that they're going to try and make the playoffs. I think they are going to be very, very close next season. The problem is, though, the Bruins just got a lot better. Patrice Bergeron coming in, and Krejci coming in, and, signing Pavel Zacha. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat out the Bruins, because I think that is their stiffest competition right now. Because I do have Florida, Tampa, and Toronto as the top 3. And then there's about 3 or 4 teams that could battle it out for that 4th spot, respectively, in the Atlantic Division. And depending on what happens in the Metro Division, it might not even matter if you're 4th in that division. But at this rate, I have the Red Wings missing the postseason begrudgingly. And the reason I say that is, I think that the Bruins they are the veteran team here. And until you knock off the Bruins, I'm going to give the Bruins the nod here. I think that the Bruins are slightly the better team, just slightly. Might not be the case next year, but as of today, I like the Bruins over the Red Wings. The Red Wings are right there. They're going to be knocking on the door till the end of the season. And if the Bruins really stumble in the first half of the season with all those injuries and stuff like that, the Red Wings are my next team. If there's a team to stumble in the Atlantic, the Red Wings will be that 4th team to make it in the Atlantic Division. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section down below. What do you think of the Detroit Red Wings, and do you think they make the postseason for 2023? Let me know. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.